Hello there! Thank you so much for joining me. In this video, we're going to be talking about Disney Cruise Line's Alaska cruises. We're going to be talking about their itineraries, their ports, and some of my favorite port adventures.
I'm Christina. I'm a traveler, a planner, and most importantly, a mom. I'm sharing my best tips to make traveling as a family a little less stressful. So put down your phone, pack your bags, and let's showcase the world.
Okay, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I probably shouldn't be admitting this because I am a travel agent and I do sell a lot of cruises. I don't love cruising. Give me a like below if you agree with me. You don't think you're gonna like cruising. What I love about cruising, and I take cruises because I love this, that I can see more places without the hassle of packing my bags and moving to a new location. And there are just some places that are best seen by cruise ship. Norway is one, Alaska is another, and Disney Cruise Line is great at Alaska itineraries for families with young children. So Disney Cruise Line has two Alaska itineraries for 2020. Their 2021 itineraries have not come out yet, but they're usually typically the same. So this video should be pretty relevant for a while unless they do something drastic. If they do something drastic, I'll put a little link to a blog post below. But this is talking about what is current in 2020 for the Alaska sailings. Disney is the best cruise line if you have young kids. It just is. They redefined the industry. They go above and beyond in terms of making sure that the kids are invested in what's going on around them. That the naturalists who are telling you about the wildlife and the geology of the area are engaging those younger travelers so that they want to learn and they want to explore. There's also great kids clubs which gives you an opportunity to do something on your own, you know? If there's a port adventure you really want to do that doesn't seem like it's going to be great for your kids, or maybe they don't meet the minimum age, you can leave your kids on the cruise ship while you go on your adventure. So there are other cruise lines that I recommend if you are not interested in a Disney Cruise Line. So Disney only has 4 ships in their fleet. So supply and demand, they're going to be a little bit more expensive than the fleets that have multiple ships doing Alaska. Disney does Alaska from May to August. If you do want to go to Alaska in September, you're not going to be able to go on Disney Cruise Line. I like Celebrity a lot. Celebrity is pretty much in line with the quality of Disney and is going to be slightly less expensive, but it's still that great value that you're getting for your money. They also have a lot of inclusions that cruise lines like Royal and Norwegian are going to upsell you for. Norwegian has great cruise tours, so if you want to do Denali, it's not something that's on a lot of Alaska itineraries because it's inland, but Norwegian definitely has some of the better cruise tours to get you to do, 7 nights on your cruise and then 7 nights inland on a bus tour. If you're traveling with teens or multi-generational, Royal is going to be the best to keep those active teenagers entertained on the ship. So those are just some options if you are not looking to book a Disney cruise, or if you find it's on your budget or the dates don't work, or Disney itineraries don't go where you want to go in Alaska, then you have other options there as well. I would love to chat with you about them. Head to showcasetheworld.com and schedule a call. I'd love to chat with you about what Alaska Cruise Line is best for your vacation. Okay, so now let's talk about Disney Cruise Line specifically. Some of the things that they add that the other cruise lines don't have. Those naturalists are a little bit more engaging to young children. Their nightly menus spotlight the regional cuisine, so it's not just their set menu. Also exclusive to Disney are the frozen deck celebration. Wonder why that's exclusive to Disney. They also, so the Anna and Elsa are on board. They have a Pixar party on Disney Cruise Line Alaska Itineraries. I don't know why they chose Pixar for that. Maybe if they had just like Prospector Pete when you go gold mining, but I don't know why they have the Pixar party that's only on Alaska Itineraries, but that's something that they have just on Alaska Itineraries. If you're going on a Disney cruise, to Alaska, it sails out of Vancouver, which is in Canada, which is a different country. So you need a passport to get to Vancouver to leave on your ship. Then, so you have your two choices here. You have a 7 and a 9 night itinerary. Like I said, they go from May to August. To get the best price on your Alaska cruise, you want to book early. About 18 months in advance is when they are released. The way cruise lines work is the earliest rate is the lowest rate. So as the ship fills, the rate goes up. It's called yielding. So the lowest price you're going to get on Disney Cruise Line is the day that it's released. They don't run discounts like the other cruise lines do. If they do, they're very last minute. You have to pay in full. They're usually reserved for Florida and military, Florida residents and military. They do have guaranteed staterooms that come out, but typically if you're booking one of those, it's going to be the same, if not more, than that original booking. So book as soon as those are released. If you want to get on a wait list for next year, then contact me. I do have a running list waiting for when the next year's cruises will be released. Right now I have a wait list for 2021. If you're watching this a year from now, I'll have a wait list for 2022. Summer Alaska cruises are usually released in February, so we're looking to see that come out pretty soon. If it hasn't already come out already, it could come out today as I'm posting this. Who knows? We're usually a little surprised. I think for an Alaska cruise, you definitely want to invest in a veranda because there are days where they're not considered at-sea days, but you're going through a glacier or a strait that has really, really breathtaking sights, and having that veranda where you can just sit in privacy and see those beautiful, beautiful things is definitely worth the extra money on an Alaska cruise. So let's talk about the 7-night itinerary. Your 7-night Alaska itinerary, you are going to, it's going to leave on a Monday and return on a Monday. It's typically how they work. So you're going to leave Vancouver. Your next day is going to be at sea as you're getting up to Alaska. Your day 3 is going to be at the Dawes Glacier at Endicott Arms. So that's a day that you're going to want that veranda. On Thursday, you are in Skagway, Alaska. I'll talk a little bit more about these ports after we go through the itineraries. But so day 2, 3, 4 is in Skagway. Day 5 is going to be in Juneau. Day 6 will be in Ketchikan. Day 7 at sea, and day 8 you are returning to Vancouver. So that there are 2 sailings in 2020 that replaces Skagway with the Icy Strait. So if you really want to see the Icy Strait, you have those 2 itineraries you can pick from. If you really want to see Skagway, make sure you don't pick those 2 itineraries. Then on the 9-night, very similar in terms of ports, but you add some glaciers there as well. So you skip Skagway on the 9 nights, but you add Sitka. I love Sitka just because of the movie The Proposal with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds. Actually was filmed in Rockport, Massachusetts, which is where my husband works. So kind of funny. I love watching that movie to see that Sitka is Rockport, but now I really want to go to Sitka. Anyway, on 9-night, you're going to leave Vancouver. You are going to have a day at sea. You are going to port in Ketchikan. You are going to spend the day at the Icy Strait. So again, veranda day. You are going to spend day 5 in Juneau. Day 6, you're going to spend at the Hubbard Glacier. Again, one of those veranda days where you get to see these beautiful, beautiful things, but you don't get off the ship. Day 7, you are in Sitka. And day 8, you're at sea. Day 9, you get to stop in Victoria, Canada, which I have always wanted to see. The gardens of the Canadian Pavilion are inspired by those at a site in Victoria, Canada. So if you're going during the summer, May to August, which is when you would be going because that's when these sailings are, then you'll get to see those beautiful gardens in Victoria. Then you end in Vancouver. So those are your itineraries. Let's talk a little bit about those ports. So Skagway is very much a gold rush town. So it was a native village until it came to prominence, excuse me, in the 1890s when gold was discovered in the Klondike River, the Klondike Gold Rush. So downtown is like this little snapshot in time of the city's heyday. So it looks like you're stepping into the 1890s. You can do things like go on that Yukon Railroad, visit museums, pan for gold. Then one of the other big ports is Ketchikan. Ketchikan is a big fishing village. It's considered the salmon capital of the world. They take pride in their native roots. So while you're celebrating the gold rush in Skagway, when you go to Ketchikan, it's more about that native culture and what kind of made Alaska. So Ketchikan was the first salmon saltery. It then became the first salmon canning factory. So great things you can do there. There's a great totem park. There's all sorts of really cool museums celebrating that native art and heritage. Juneau. Juneau is the largest state capital. It is also the only state capital bordered by another country. So it's bordered by Canada, and it is the size of Delaware. The city of Juneau is the size of Delaware. So again, largest state capital. I think like 1 out of 2 employees, 1 out of 2 residents in Juneau works for the US or federal government. So that's kind of a cool little fact. So here's where you want to focus on nature. You want to take in the rugged mountains, the glaciers, and lush rainforests. So there's rainforest here as well as that kind of Arctic temper zone. So what I like to do is pick a port adventure in Skagway that celebrates the gold rush, one that has to do with fishing or native heritage in Ketchikan, and one that is about nature in Juneau. Some of the ones that I like the most, so let's go Skagway first. So Skagway has a Klondike Gold Dredge and White Pass Railway excursion where you take this gorgeous train ride and then you pan for gold, and maybe a character or two comes to show up and pan gold with you. So that's something that's exclusive to Disney. Then there's the Liarsville Gold Rush Trail Camp. So you have a motor bus tour of Skagway. You'll pan for gold, and you know, you're probably gonna find some. Has a great scavenger hunt and a puppet show, and then one of your friends shows up, and then you have a salmon bake. So that's an example of what you're gonna get on Disney Cruise Line. The other cruise lines aren't going to necessarily do a scavenger hunt and puppet show for kids that aren't necessarily on board. In Ketchikan, there's a fisherman's tour, which again is a Disney exclusive, that you get an inside look into the life of Alaskan crab harvesters. And then you get to pull up the crabs and then eat them right on board. I've never done this with crabs. I have not been on this port adventure, but I do this in Rockport a lot where we go out and get lobsters and eat them right on board. So really, really cool, get to see their life type experience. And then there's a Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show. A lot of cruise lines have the Great Lumberjack Show that you can go to, but it's Disney, so you know the entertainment value is going to be through the roof. In Juneau, Dog Sled Summer Camp is a huge one. Disney adds a little bit of magic there that makes it a Disney exclusive. Then you have a whale watching and wildlife quest that includes, you know, humpback whale sightings, bald eagles, and an expert naturalist that explains everything. It makes this a little bit different than other cruise lines, is that naturalist will speak to the array of interests and knowledge levels on board, so we'll get your kids involved. So like I said, Disney's not the only cruise line in Alaska. I talked about the Disney Cruise Line itineraries, some of their exclusives, what makes them a little bit different. If you do want to talk about those different cruise lines, what they offer, what is best for you, please use the link below to schedule a call. I would love to chat with you. I just highlighted some of the port adventures. If you'd like to see the full list of port adventures, go to disney.go.com/port-adventures-Alaska. I'll put that below. I should have just put it below to begin with, but that's Disney's cruise line site with the port adventures all laid out for you. I would love to discuss some of the port adventures other cruise lines offer as well. Disney is my favorite with young children. Again, thank you. Please let me know if you have any questions. I would love to chat with you. Explore the worlds together.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.